set up my screen for the presentation, and now I hear that the recording has begun. So with that, let me commence my presentation for the day as well. So you know the agenda that we are going to discuss about Workday integration specifically. And we are going to see how you can develop Workday specific use cases within UiPath itself. But before going there and talking about Workday integration in specific, let's talk about integration in general and how it impacts companies, right? For this, let me let me uh, show you a survey that was done by Okta Business in 2020, which stated that about any enterprise on an average uses 88 different enterprise applications. And this number keeps on growing over a span of 3 years by 20% margin. And this is kind of like given because with the advent of digital transformation and digitization, we are actually seeing more and more niche systems coming into existence. For example, a company that is using Skype today might opt for using Zoom and Slack tomorrow, and others may offer MS Teams. And that's the nature of the evolution. Better and much better products come into market, and a company keeps on adapting to it, adding to the processes, and making it more efficient. Talking about efficient processes, let's talk about how these changes in integration systems and enterprise applications, when introduced in a company, how it actually impacts and introduces challenges in automation. So any process involving these tools that have been changed or have been introduced specifically may see impact of these changes. For example, since our topic today is about Workday, an HR process can involve your Workday application. It can involve any of the payroll system, and it will involve certain IT automation systems, IT systems specifically, to complete any of the HR onboarding process, right? And if you want to integrate them and fully automate these process end to end, you will have to build up custom integrations for each of these applications, which means there will be a very steep learning curve. You would like to know how Workday integrates. Workday works on WSDL services. That's there, and you will have to learn WSDL specific skills to have those implemented. ADP has its own SDKs that will work, and IT systems, depending upon whether it's Active Directory, whether it's Azure, or whether it is another cloud, AWS, for example, you will have to adopt to their methodology as well. So you have the number of systems, with the number of system increasing, you will have to have those skills developed as well, so that you can efficiently integrate those systems together for end-to-end automation, which means a steeper learning curve, which means the turnaround time will be quite higher, because you will spend a considerable amount of time making those changes and acquiring those skills. So what can we do about this? How can we make these automation beds a lot more efficient, a lot more effective? And that's where UiPath robots become the answer. And the and the reason which makes UiPath robots the ultimate answer is that we come with pre-equipped with integrations, any kind of integration that you need. We have a very vibrant community that contributes to the marketplace along with our partners and customers. And we also have a dedicated partner technology alliance team that is working day in and day out to bring you the best of native integrations that is possible. Talking about the partner integration team, they are actually committed to building a strong technology ecosystem, and they are actually building integrations alongside the technology partners, and they are actually enabling them with tools and any kind of support that they require to build these integration on their own. The result of which is that as of today, we have more than 300 technology partners working with us to bring these custom integrations to you. And we have more than 1,200 reusable components listed on the UiPath marketplace. And what are these kind of integrations? We work with ITSM systems like Zendesk, Jira, and ServiceNow to bring you the integrations of those systems. We work with CRM systems like Salesforce, HR systems like Workday and SuccessFactors, ERP systems like SAP. We also work with digital signature systems like DocuSign and Adobe Sign, intelligent automation stream, which is quite catchy for everyone. We work with likes of Data Robot, Hyperscience, S2O.ai, Alteryx, Abby, to bring you the best of abilities that you can integrate within your robots, and you can achieve the kind of result that you want by automating your use cases. And in addition to this, we also have a dedicated support for IT automations, which includes activities for Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, and activities for data center systems like Hyper-V and VMware, and also Microsoft specific activities like that of Active Directory. So you can rest be assured that whatever use case you're targeting and whatever system is involved in automating those use cases, chances are you have an integration already in place, so that you can use simply by referring to these from the marketplace or from the official feed that our technology partner technology alliance team is providing you. The kind of benefit that we are seeing by introducing these kind of integration is that it makes a lot more easier for you to build robust and the use cases that you built becomes quite quick in terms of its journey from development to production. And all these activities that are built by our technology alliance team are actually not only built by UiPath, it is also supported by UiPath, right? And these integrations, whatever you see, are actually backed by or certified by our tech providers as well, which means they follow the best practices, they follow all the security standards that they need to, which will bring your mind to that will keep your mind at peace. And obviously, since it's a drag and drop activity and you don't have to go through all the learning curves for different systems, obviously the time to market or time to delivery will be quite less. So these are the benefits that we specifically see when we talk about integrations in general. And next, we are going to discuss about Workday activities in particular. So like I said, that we work with our technology partners, and Workday is no different. UiPath is actually a part of the Workday software partner program and is working as access partner. We have key integrations with the complete set of Workday activities, activities that you would like to perform. For example, if you want to work with reports, that's possible because we have an activity for that. If you want to work with EIBs, that is also possible because we have an activity dedicated for that. And apart from that, we have a very powerful activity that actually gives you access to any and all kind of services that Workday provides. So all these integrations that I'm talking about actually works. The underlying system that it works on is actually provided by Workday itself. So there is a way that Workday allows you to integrate with its system, and UiPath has adopted that and included that into our activities so that you can dock directly with these systems without resorting to UI automation, which makes it more robust, which makes it a lot faster. Talking about the use cases, we are going to see it in a bit. So without further ado, let me jump right into it. That was a lot of theory, and now we are going to see exactly how we achieve these impacts. So today's task in terms of what we are going to achieve is something that I've listed here. We are going to look at how to get Workday activities. Then we are going to bind it to the Studio connection, how we can bind this connection in Studio itself. We are then going to talk about the get report activity, launch EIB activity, and invoke Workday operations. These are the three activities that has been provided within the Workday activity set. And these three are more than enough to achieve any of the activities that you want to do on Workday systems. And then we are going to look at two of the use cases. Just learning about how to use the activities won't suffice. So I'll bring it to you two real-time use cases that will give you more confidence in understanding how Workday activities work and how it can aid you in actually delivering use cases or actually automating use cases end to end. So let's start by seeing how we can get Workday activities. For that, I'll go to Manage Packages, to the official feed, because this is something that has been provided by UiPath's Partner Technology Alliance team itself. So I can type Workday, sorry, and that's how we get it. You just click on install here. I already have it, so it's giving me an option to update, but I'll not for the moment. That's how you get the activities. You can click on save, and this activity will be downloaded for you in the current project. And to see these Workday activities, you will find these Workday activities within the integrations namespace. It will have its own namespace within which all these activities are listed. Get report, invoke Workday operation, and launch EIB, like I said, and obviously Workday application scope that makes it easier for us to connect to Workday system from within the UiPath. So we saw how to get Workday activities. Let's continue on looking at how to establish the studio connection. So for establishing the studio connection, we have to just drag and drop the Workday application scope, and then we have to click on configure, and we have to provide all these parameters, right? So the username and password is going to be exactly your username password that you have to log into Workday. So I am going to do that exactly. UiPath pre-sales. I'm going to type in the password. And then there are tenant and tenant URL. To get these values, the tenant and tenant URL, we are actually going to go to the system. I've logged in already to the system. You can see the username UiPath-pre-sales, right? We will go into the system itself. We can search for something called public. And I'm currently looking at how to get the tenant URL. So the tenant URL will be specific WSS endpoint, and that we can get from these public services. You can open any of these services, right? And we can view the visual document for this. And if you scroll towards the end, you will find this link, and you have to take up till the name of the tenant itself, not beyond that. So it's basically the format how these WSS endpoints work is that the service that we are calling actually gets appended to the tenant that is the tenant endpoint that is already there. So we are going to choose this endpoint as the tenant endpoint just for the benefit of everyone. This is the tenant name that is given here as well. You can find it on the URL as well, right? So we can use this in here, not this one. Let me go back. This is my tenant URL, and the tenant name is going to be this. Once I do this, I should be able to connect. Right, so that's how you connect it. Let me see if I have these configured already. So I have it all configured in my arguments pane. So I'll just put it in here so that the error message goes away. And it is storing exactly those values that you saw. And the reason that we are configuring here is because we want a way to work with Workday in the design time as well without running, basically. And you will see in a bit how we can do that as well. So let me just type it again. And connect. This is okay. And that's how we actually established connection to Workday from within the studio. With that, our second objective is over as well. Now let's focus on activities that has been provided by Workday itself. Like I said, there are 4 activities. One you already saw. This is used for actually establishing the connection with Workday system. And next we have these 3 that we are going to see one by one. The first, let's take the first activity, get report. And get report is something.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second? There is a question in the chat. Sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
2 now. So username is same as orchestrator. I feel like this is the time for this question.
Username is specifically not orchestrated. The username is the username that you will use to log into the Workday activity. Workday system, sorry.
And second, how will the connection be established if we are using SSO?
So these the identity that we have in here, these have to be activated via the services itself. I don't have a specific answer for the SSO. I'll have to check in with the team, the developers, and I'll get back to you with the answer.
I need to log in first in Workday.
No, you don't. This is just for the demo purpose. So this is something that you can do directly from UiPath. You don't have to log in here.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Right. So let's go back to the Workday get report activity that we were working on. And get report activity is something that will help you in pulling the reports from the Workday system itself. And it has only one field, which is report URL. And this is the URL that you need to provide. So how to get this URL? We'll simply go to the system again. I have a report that I use for demo purposes, which is demo hire report pre-sales. Right. And in here, we can go ahead and view the web services piece because it's going to be a web service call. We will click on the view URLs and there is a visual document that has been provided here. We can go in here and towards the end, we will find this link. And this link is this. Right, so we can use this link to actually pull the reports down. Let me just go back. I can do this and it can, if I run this, it will run. And for the sake of the robot understanding this, we can add a simple XML. What it will do is it will give you a easier way to convert the data that you have downloaded from this service into data table itself. So let's see if this works out for us. The second thing that I want to do, once this data is pulled, you will see the value that I provided is already pre-populated in the report URL parameter. And this second thing that we want to do is we want to associate a variable here, which will be of type data table that stores the value from here. Let me do this DT table, right? And then we can add right range maybe. And we'll give demo report.xlsx as the path, and then the data table here, which is our DT table. Let's choose to provide the header as well so that we don't miss anything. And let's run this. That's running right now. It's getting the report, it's writing the report, and that's over. Let's see the result. And in here, if I refresh this, I should have a new report. And there you go. The data that I had within Workday has been pulled down by the robot, and we will soon see how this can be used within a use case as well. So obviously, standalone, you can absolutely pull down a report, but it'll make a lot more sense when we are talking about another context where this can be injected. Right, so now we saw how to use get report activity, pretty simple. Next, we are going to talk about launch EIB activity. And launch EIB activity is basically sending, it's basically sending a signal to Workday that says that, look, we want to actually launch the EIB that is already created, pre-created, and it then can refer to it for results as well. So For launch EIB, we have these parameters that is provided. You can either run with integration system ID or with the Workday ID identifier that is provided to the launch EIB. We will see this in a bit, how to get these values. And then apart from this, we have these options as well. So folks who are really familiar with EIBs will understand that to run the EIBs, there could be certain things that has to be provided, for example, files and other inputs, and all those inputs can be provided in here. So to support the launch, you have these input options available here that you can optionally provide to run the EIB. And as an output, you will get the integration event that will tell you whether the launch of EIB was successful or it failed, and the response status, which will contain, again, information and messages around the running of the EIB system itself. So let's concentrate on these two fields, which are the major fields that we want to actually get. And for that, I'll go in here. I'll do view integration system. And in view integration system, I'll just search for one of the EIBs that I prepared. So I'll just go and click on OK. And to get this, to run this EIB from the system, from my UiPath robot, I'll just go to the integration IDs piece, view IDs, and these are the Workday. This is the Workday ID, and this is the integration system ID that we are going to use. Optionally, we can use either of them. So that's your call, what you want to use, right? We are not going to run the EIB from here because I have a dedicated demo where it is being used. Just know that this is where we provide the inputs, and this is where we provide the output. The running piece we'll see in the use case itself. Right. So with that, we get the information. We understood how to launch EIB activity, how to launch EIB for Workday, and exactly how launch EIB activity works. The next piece is, yeah.
Anubhav, hello, it's Christina. I took the place
of Christina.
She had to run.
No
we have a question from Rajesh. With actually two questions. He wants to know how to pass the dynamic parameter for the report. Is it URL string manipulation?
That is correct. So these are basically on the custom reports. I'll say that there are more dynamic elements to it. Probably working on the EIB side would work better. But yes, that's how it is going to work. If it is about providing dynamic inputs, it's going to be via the URL, and you will get this example from the WSDL document itself.
And then he asked, if it's the case of a large report, how long can the get report activity wait?
So the running and preparing of the reports happens on the Workday side itself. UiPath is not controlling that aspect, but the way you would have done it via any of the service that you create, it is going to work in the same way. It is going to wait for Workday to complete creating the report and providing to you. So the timing is basically dependent on Workday. There's no lag introduced by UiPath per se.
Okay, and I would place just one more question now that we have from Marek, since we stopped. Marek is asking, how can you parameterize report, example, to show data for a given month?
Show data for?
For a given month.
Show data for given month. Okay. This is something that I'll have to look at it. It should be done via the URL itself, but I'll have to look into it and get back to you.
Okay, Marek, we have saved this question and we will come back with an answer to you, so don't worry. Thank you very much, Anubhav.
No worries. All right, so we saw all those things. The next thing is we have to work with the invoke Workday operation. So for that, I'll just drag and drop invoke Workday operation. I'll show you that you can search for any of the activities that's there. I'm just simply typing get, because there are so many operations that's available within Workday. And if you want to run any of these activities from within UiPath, you can go ahead and do so. Let's take an example in here. Let's say get journals. just for the sake of the example. And you will see that what this particular service expects as an input and an output object is something that is um, quite expanded for you in terms of your understanding. So you can go ahead and provide the uh, uh, variables here. The values how you need to manipulate will be quite clear. For example, let's say Workday common header is let's say the output that is coming here, get journals, right? So if I create a variable, let's say journal, you will see that the value has been created in here. Let me not save this. And you will see that it becomes a specific variable type. This is not keeping you in the lurch in terms of having it in, let's say, a crude reply. It is actually forming in a way that can be that you can access it within your system itself. So if I do journal, right, if I do dot, you will see the properties coming in for the kind of things that's there, right? So if I want to, let's say, refer to the data, and then I have to refer to specific things from the data, you will get all those information directly. So that's the power that UiPath Workday activities bring to you. It becomes a lot more easier to deal with the response objects, and it gives you an idea how to build the input objects as well, right? And as an example for that, instead of building something, I have it built in here that gets a report of all the workers that are part of this particular Workday instance, and it actually creates a report at the end, right? This report will consist of all the employee names. It will contain it'll actually show how many number of employees have what title and at what job band and stuff like that. So let me just run this. And you see the invoke Workday operation is something that is working in this particular piece. And then using the response item itself, we are actually adding all the values here. I'm just hovering over each of these so that you can have a view how these data looks, how we have extracted it. And let's see. So the invoke operation obviously will take some time because it is fetching the data from the Workday system. And once it completes that, it will come and start building on. So it is actually getting the complete list of workers that is available in here in this particular instance. And then it is going to iterate over each of them, and it'll start to build it'll start to derive these values, the data, the is active, the user ID, salary, date of birth, name, and business title. And these information is something that we are going to use to actually complete the report that we wanted, which actually shows number of employees in each of the organization, the age of employees and how it is distributed across the title, and so on and so forth. So right now it is actually working on those, extracting information according to this, adding it to a row in the data table so that finally it can be pasted on the report. The report is being worked on at the moment. So once this settles, all right, so it has completed working. And if I open the report piece, so this is the values that it was working on, and this is the report that using that value we were able to generate. It shows you the number of employees for each of the title, and then the salary band, the age band, and stuff like that. right? So these things are something that is possible. Cool. So with that, we have actually looked into this, and that brings us to the first Mentimeter quiz round. And let me bring the Mentimeter quiz on screen. Let me quickly go to present.
Go to menti.com. We have reached our quiz moment. So this is the moment when we interact for fun. And you have the link there where to go. And I will also paste this code here. With this code, you will enter directly in the quiz. So it's 86894886 on menti.com. We will just wait for you to get in the quiz room if you want to participate.
And we have the first participants already flowing in.
Yes, it's a big dinosaur there, or a dragon. So we have 46 people in the session currently. Let's see how many of them want to gather up and compete for the UiPath Swag Prize. Based on what we've learned in the session so far. And then after the quiz, Anubhav, perhaps I can place you 2 more questions from the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We have a mouse, a dog, and a tiger.
We have almost reached the 50% mark with the number of participants there. So in fact, we have reached 50% mark exactly.
No, it's 20 here in the quiz room currently.
So
we're waiting for more.
UiPath representatives are not allowed to participate in the quiz.
In the quiz? Yeah, well, no one in UiPath has enough swag, never. We always want more. Yep. There's always a new t-shirt that you want.
All right, so we have 21 participants. Let's do a countdown maybe. Let's count down to 10, and then we can start with the quiz. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We have to join. We don't have to leave. I see one number.
Exactly.
4.
He's back.
3, 2, and let's begin.
Yeah, first question. Let's go. Let's see.
All right, so you have to be fast. All right, you have to be right and you have to be fast. So to connect to Workday from UiPath activities, the tenant URL parameter corresponds to what exactly? Is it the Workday web service endpoint? Is it the username and password? Or is it a URL that helps you in finding rental apartments? Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6. Everyone has voted.
Yeah, they saved some seconds.
Okay, but I can guarantee you that the tenant URL is not going to help you with rental apartments. That's for sure. All right, so next question in this particular one before we go back and take your questions. All right, for now, the leaderboard looks something like this. Joe is leading, closely followed by Toby, and we have Marek on the 3rd points. This leaderboard we have seen in the past can flip dramatically. So let's see what happens. Next question. All right, question 2. Again, be fast. The launch EIB operation is used for launching recurring payment for extended illness benefit, launching EIB, which is European Investment Bank new account, or invoking a specific EIB, which is Enterprise Interface Builder integration. And 4 and 3. Cool. No, we are not working with bank and illness benefits as of now. So yes, it is about the Enterprise Interface Builder. And let's see the final leaderboard before we go back and see. Final as in like in middle. Joe still leads. There's a flip. Joe still leads though. Marek came to the 2nd point and Ilakia is on the 3rd. And we will pause here before we actually go and have another round of quiz that will actually decide our swag winners. Cool. All right, Christina, let's take those questions.
Okay, so guys, we will come back to this quiz at the end of the session. We will have 2 more questions in the quiz from the remaining part of the session that Anubhav has yet to present. Congrats for now, but let's see if those positions flip or you keep them there between Joe and Marek. The questions we have are so Doncho is asking, as we are talking for HR data, which is something very confidential and sensitive, his question would be, how secure is to use the UiPath?
It's absolutely as secure as it can get. So first of all, for example, my ID, the ID that I'm working with, does not have permission to access any of those financial modules from within this particular Workday integration that we have. So it is the permissions that you provide for these things can be absolutely customized according to the agent that you are trying to mimic while automating your process. So if the person is only dealing with, let's say, reports, you can give him access according to that, and he will not that particular account will not have access beyond those particular modules. And then you have additional security in terms of your UiPath robot governance as well. So we have a extensive audit trails and exactly what the robot is doing. It is completely logged as well. So do you have 2 factors in terms of security? One, from the Workday account creation sites itself, and UiPath is not overriding any of those permissions. So you're secure from those perspective. And from within UiPath ecosystem itself, we have a security that is whatever data you have within the ecosystem is completely encrypted, whether in transit or whether it is being stored. It is completely encrypted. That's point one. And second is from the auditing perspective as well. Whatever action the robot takes is being completely logged, and you have the ability of having an eye on those things as well. And if it is an attended automation, you know who has executed those automations as well. And if it is unattended, you have the robot service credentials that has its own governance policies that can be enforced.
Okay, thank you, Anubhav. That sounds bulletproof from a security point of view, and I hope that answers your question, Doncho. We have one more question from Marek. He asks, what if the URL does not have the perimeter I want to change? For example, some business units in his case. Do you consider activity for this, or does it mean that my reports are poorly designed?
So I'll say the latter, because UiPath is actually using exactly what Workday provides. So let me take this opportunity and introduce to you the basic line that UiPath is working on. So let me go to Docs and Workday. By the way, the docs are really good about all these integrations. So any kind of information that you're looking for is actually available on these docs as well. So if I go to the Workday
Can you give us the link in chat, Anubhav?
Absolutely, please? I can.
So everyone can access that link?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, doing it right now. All right, give me a second. Let's try. All right, loaded. Okay, my bad. Workday. My internet connection is slow today.
No worries. We still have enough time.
Or let me see if I can get it from Workday launch activity, maybe. That is also something that's available. Yep, finally it loaded. Cool. So the question was whether there is something that we can do about including multiple activities to this thing. But the idea behind creating these activities and integration is that we try to absorb anything and everything that is available. So the Workday activities that you see is actually working on the Workday's SOAP and report as a service already, right? So whatever these APIs or whatever these service endpoints are providing, it is already something that has been built within our UiPath Workday activities. So I'll say that if if it is something that is accessible via service, you will be able to access via UiPath activities as well, right? So this is a good starting point to absorb the concepts behind this and get to know exactly how to work around these reports that you're talking about with custom specifics.
Thank you,
Hope that
Anubhav.
answers your question.
Yes, Marek also, thank you.
Cool. All right, so any other question, Christina, before I
No, we can go on with the presentation now.
Cool. So again, so I'm not going to bore you with any more theory. So let's go ahead and understand two of the use cases that's there, and that will open your mind on how to use these Workday activities really efficiently. So the first one is very typical of an HR department. It's an onboarding scenario wherein I have one of the reports that comes from Workday that provides me all the list of all the new hires that's there in the company. And then our UiPath robots, what it is going to do, it is going to extract these Workday reports by obviously using the Workday activities, the get report activities. And then for each of these new hire, because they have been absorbed in our company, it is going to create the entity, the user account in our Salesforce, right? And then it is going to create an Excel for the auditing purposes. And if any of the account was not created because of any of the reasons, there could be a plethora of reasons because that will fail the creation of the user account. If any such things happen, ServiceNow ticket will be created, and then the same message will be posted on Slack, whether it is successful, whether it is failing with one of the reasons. It is going to post it on the Slack with the message and the link to the ServiceNow ticket. Right. So you see in this particular view itself that we are integrating with all these enterprise systems. We are integrating with Workday to start with, Salesforce. We are using Excel and other Microsoft activities that might be there. And then we are integrating with ServiceNow to create tickets and Slack. And all these things are being done completely on the background. We are not using any of the foreground activities or the UI automation per se. We are doing all these things in the background itself. So let's see this on the activity as well. So in here, the first thing that I do is I do some cleanups on Salesforce. So this is something that you don't have to bother about. It's just for the demo purpose. And then the first thing that we do is get report. And we are getting report if I see the URL. This URL is actually, give me a second. So this particular report URL is going to fetch me the new hires, and I can delete this. This was just for the debugging purposes. So this report that we get from here is something that is being worked on throughout. It is going to add some additional columns, which is going to keep track of all the things that we will need. There will be a track to actually see whether the import was successful, and based on which we are going to log the case in ServiceNow. The next is creating account in Salesforce. So these are the Salesforce specific activities that's there. We are connecting to it. We are getting the user record. Basically, we are getting all the information that we will need to actually create the user account specific to Salesforce, whatever information is necessary. And then we are inserting the users that we have from the DT employees. This is from the report that we had, right? So we are going to insert it one by one. And once the insertion completes, there will be an audit file that will be created. And this is again on Excel. And then based on whether there was any of the errors, there will be a ticket that will be created on ServiceNow. So this is the ServiceNow activities, wherein we are going to insert a new incident based on if something goes wrong. And once all these things are over, we are going to do post it on the Slack, informing that these are the things that has happened. Right. So that's my workflow. We understood from the workflow perspective as well. Let me go to Salesforce and show you the user pane. Let me refresh this. Hopefully this is still logged in. Right. So you will see that we have limited number of users in here. Right, so limited numbers of users in here. So if I run this, I should have new users getting added up. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so it's fetching the new hires, and now it is creating the accounts in Salesforce one by one for all those folks. It is then doing the audit field where it logs in whether it was successful or whether it failed. And then it is going to, so right now it is creating the report, the audit report. It's now filtering whether there was any of the error cases. There was a error cases, so it is creating one of the tickets. Right now on ServiceNow, it formulated the chat message that is going to go on Slack. And if I go on Slack right now, it takes a little bit of time to get it posted. So you will see a new message appearing here that will mark the end of the process, right? So this is the message that it says that 4 accounts were successfully created. However, there was one that had errors. And if I go on this particular link, that is the ServiceNow link, we have this actually logged in ServiceNow as well, right? The message is here. I kept it simple just to show you that these can be done. So yeah, that was the use case. If I go on to the users and refresh this, I should have new users added in here as well. Yeah, so John A, John B, John C, anything with workday1.net is something that has been added just now. So that was your user onboarding. Obviously, you can add it to other applications. You can provide, you can add it to Active Directory using the IT automation activities. You can actually go ahead and provide them desktop with Amazon Workspaces and AWS. Amazon AWS Workspaces and Amazon desktops, workspaces or desktop. It's kind of like, I'm forgetting the name, but they have kind of like similar function, desktop as a service. And then you can provide them VMs if you want. You can do n number of stuff. You can actually give them, let's say, onboarding guide on the Slack. You can add them to Slack if you have the admin rights to do so. All these things can be done on the background itself. That will completely automate the onboarding process for that matter. Right. So those are the things that I wanted to show you from the onboarding perspective. So we completed this use case and we come to the last piece, which is internal job change. And internal job change is something that we are going to do via EIB. This is the EIB that is there. Let me just show you how the EIB looks here. Right. So what it does is it actually does the change job process, which is there. The transformation piece is the change job, and that's what we are going to do as well. And for the sake of simplicity, I've kept only one item in here. This person will not be able to access it. So let me just sign in with another credential that gives me admin rights. So I'll just go to one. This is the user that I'm trying to force a job change with. We'll talk about the how we are doing that in a bit. But if the job change is initiated, we'll go to the worker history. And you will see that there will be some of the items that will pop up apart from whatever is already present, right? And going to the workflow itself. Give me a second. Let's have a look. Right, so obviously it's first going to get the report, right? And this is going to get the current status of the employee. And then the next one is going to be around organization change, it's basically creating an audit report. So the report that we extracted, we are adding 2 columns to it, whether the job change that we initiated was successful and who is the new manager, something like that, right? That was the change that we did to the report, and then we are writing it to the report before the transformation, and then we are doing the transformation here. We are launching the EIB. We got the WID from the EIB system itself, and this is, I can remove this. This was for the debugging purposes, so I can keep it like this. This will launch the EIB. And then we'll keep a placeholder, give it time to complete from the EIB perspective. And then we get the report again for the user. And we actually do the, we actually find out whether this was successful or not. And because when it will not be successful, there will be a ticket that will be created on the service now. That is being done in this particular piece. Here's the service now. A new ticket will be created by inserting a new record to incidents. And the next piece is going to be on the Slack scope side. The same way the message appeared for us, that's the message that is going to appear. So just to ease the visualization, this is the job change that is happening. We are getting the report from here. We are actually manipulating it by adding the current organization and current manager basically, and then we are launching the EIB, and then we are getting it. If any of the errors occur, we are going to get it logged in ServiceNow for manual intervention, and then we are going to provide all these information into a Slack, again an end-to-end automation that's there. So for this purpose, I have kept only one person that is being pushed into job change, so that we go through this a little bit quicker. But you can have n number of people at one go as well. So let me just execute this. And for the benefit, okay, let me see if I can open this parallelly here as well. Workday. All right. View integration system. Just wanted to show you how it's working as well. So it just executed the EIB as well, and we should have it in the integration events now. All right. All right, so this was the latest one that was completed. This is completed now, right now, and the way we'll know that this is completed, because this was the person that was undergoing job change. You will see new entries in here that says in progress, right? So which means that these were initiated, the job change was initiated, but for some reason this hasn't completed, which means that if I ask the robot to continue, this should actually go ahead and create a ticket for this purpose, because the job change did not complete end to end. So it is creating the ticket now. And once the Slack messaging is over, you should get a new Slack message here. All right, that's over. Let me just quickly go back. And if I open this one, we will have a new ticket that's created. Right. So yeah, this is the new ticket that was created for this one, the one that we were looking at, the case. And with that, we conclude the internal job change use case as well. And which means it's time for Mentimeter quiz again. Let me bring this back.
Let's put a question from the public first
before
the quiz.
Let's do that.
So we close this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so we have a question from Angie Dahl, and she asked, is there a specific version of Studio Orchestrator you need to be on to use these activities?
No, that's not the case. You can use it with any of the versions.
Okay. Okay, Angie, so I hope this answers the question that you can use it on any version of Studio Orchestrator or Orchestrator. And now I think we can get on with the Menti quiz. Yes.
All right.
So guys, time to go again into that room. I don't know whether you still have it open. If not, just go again to menti.com.
Yep, and you will have to join again. I'm not really sure whether I can see how many people are logged in.
You will, I think you will see because you have here, yeah, 22. So yeah. That's the number.
22.
It's the same number.
Yep.
And yeah, so all of them are still there. I think we can go to the question now.
Okay. By the way, there was fastest. I just noticed that this also highlights who was the fastest in this particular section. So that's cool.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's see the next question on your screen right now.
Okay, wait.
We have, yeah, absolutely. Okay. We have 22 participants still.
Yeah, they're there. Okay.
Cool. Answer first. All right. The get report activity will do exactly what? Will it get Workday API usage report? Will it create Workday report using Excel? Or will it get Workday custom reports that's there? We have people joining in now. We have 20 people, 21, 22. Quick. Time's up. Cool. So we have 9 right answers. It was a tough one. I'll give you that because it was meant to be confusing, but 9 people have been paying a lot of focus. And Marek takes the lead. There is a flip. And he was the fastest as well. So congrats on that. All right. I think we can go to the next question as well, Christina. And that will be the final question, by the way.
Yeah, so we have the final question, and after this we'll see the leaderboard and who is the winner of our quiz.
Yes, and there's still competition because I see Ziga and Manish close to Marek. So all the best.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Marek. Hard to keep.
Question 4. I see 21 folks. We had 22, I think.
No, it's okay. I think some folks dropped because we have 42 in session now from 47.
All right, okay, cool.
So let's go on.
Answer fast. Invoke Workday operations will do exactly what? Only call create, update, and delete operations on EIB. It can invoke any of the available Workday operations, or only call create, update, and delete operations on reports. And we have 3, 2, 1. Time's up. We have 15 right answers. So let's go ahead and see the answer. And the final leaderboard says that Marek wins.
It was close, very close.
It was 3508 and 3453. It was very, very close. Yeah. So congratulations, Marek. You can put your email ID on the chat and Christina will provide you with the swag vouchers.
Yeah, so Mike, just drop your email, please, in the chat, in the public chat room on Zoom, and I will send you an email tomorrow with a voucher. Congratulations for winning our quiz
Congratulations
and
so
for
much.
paying attention. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
All right, so those were the from the perspective of hands-on and demonstration. Let's talk a little bit about these things as well. There are other things that you can do with Workday, and I just wanted to leave your thoughts provoked around the use cases that can be done. Right, so you can automate the complete recruiting process. That means that you can this is basically on the cleanup side. You can query the Workday for all the job requisitions or all the job requests that's there. You can have these manipulated with an Excel, counter check with lever, and if you feel that these are like obsolete already, you can have these deleted and inform the managers automatically. So you can have these periodical robots that run on 3 months, 6 months timeline, basically the period that it takes to have those hiring end to end. And then you can have these robots clean up your systems automatically. So they will take care of all your mundane, repetitive, boring tasks for you while you concentrate on getting the value out of the high raise that you are going to get. And then there are common use cases for Workday. Today we talked about human resources use cases specifically, but you can play around with the financial modules and the corporate planning and budgeting modules that's there within Workday as well. And UiPath is equipped enough of handling all these kind of information and all these kind of use cases to deal with. We are through. Quiz was already there. We are still open to Q&A. If you have questions, we can go through that. And with this slide, you will get HR automation heat maps, and you will get all these things that you can actually go ahead and explore within your organization itself and see if you can come up with a solution for those things. So I'll just keep a Q&A slide on this one. And Christina, I think we can open mics for conversation.
It's open, so anyone can unmute themselves and also ask them all to unmute. So guys, just let us know in chat whether where I see people asking, where will the recording be relocated? You will have the recording on the event link. I will just give you the event link again now, so you will have it, you know where to find it tomorrow. It's
do you want me to stop sharing, Christina?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep sharing, please. No problem. We just have to find the correct event link because we have the same event later on America time. So we are doing a double session today. And the deck will be there as well. So if you go to this event link tomorrow, you will find the recording and the deck uploaded, and you can download the deck and watch the recording. So don't worry. Let's see if there are any other questions. No. Manish is a bit upset he didn't win the quiz. So there's always the next time, Manish. And you can also join the next session for the.
There are multiple sessions logged in, and I'll highly recommend you to attend all those things. We have really good conversations around these systems as well. And I'll specifically ask you to join the integration service as well, which is towards the end in October, because that will give you another aspect of partner integrations that we are actually talking about right now. So we have come up with some other products that will help you in even so right now you are getting quicker turnaround times, and that will be a lot more quicker than that is right now.
Yes, guys, for the rest of the tech integration series, which we have planned now till the end of October and actually throughout December, because we are in tech integration series 2 now, and we will follow up with tech integration series 3. For EMEA and APAC times, you can check this link and all the upcoming events on it. All the tech integration series events will be posted here, and just you can check them and RSVP. And now, if there are any questions for Anubhav, I'm sure he would like to answer. If there are any questions from the public, you can just unmute yourselves. Let me know if you cannot unmute.
Actually, I have the question. So it's I'm Doncho. And thank you for the great presentation. It was really interesting for me. I'm sorry for the question, but I did not get the benefit of the second use cases. So basically, you have shown us in case of internal transfer, or this is the business process which is called job change. So you show that the UiPath robot will extract this change in Workday, and then will assign the organization assignments. So basically, as far as I know, the organization assignment, it's a part of the business process for internal job change. So my question is, on that side, what is the benefit to use it UiPath instead to include this process directly in Workday and to go with one shot altogether? Or I have misunderstood something?
No worries at all. Let's try to have a conversation around this particular use case itself. First of all, you're not bounded to have an unattended automation, right? So you can have attended automations as well. So if you feel that that's the best way to go about it, you can do it as well. Talking about how UiPath adds value to these integrations, the EIBs that you're going to use is not going to talk to your ServiceNow, for example, right? And even if you want to have to expand this to beyond those things, right now it is interacting with your ticketing system, it is interacting with your Excel, and this was a very simple example, mind you. There could be multiple things. For example, when you're doing a job change, there could be internal validations that you need to do before you can have those things. For example, have an NOC from the manager, right? That's a very simple thing that you need to do, but this is something that you cannot maybe verify from the Workday. The NOC might be flowing into, let's say, your email box, or some of the Slack channels. Maybe that's how it is going to be. So be it anything, how broken the process may be within any of the organizations, UiPath robots are up for it to stretch those fragments together and have these delivered as an end-to-end automation. Does that answer your question, Dancho?
Yes, thank you very much. It was so clear.
All right.
Okay, anyone else has a question for Anubhav? I see people are asking whether they can expect more webinars on Workday, and we would be willing to hear like what's your focus, focus of interest in this. Because since we are building this tech integration series, of course, we'd like to know what more you would like to see. No one else?
I have a question. My name is Elizabeth Valenta. I'm with Plexus. I think this is really awesome. We've recently started doing some Workday integrations, and I think this is going to be helpful. Do you guys have like a full list of other application integrations that you do? I know towards the beginning you mentioned, the average company has about 88 different applications that they have that could potentially be integrated with. Do you have like a full listing of larger scaled applications that you guys integrate directly with?
Marketplace will be a good place to start with, Elizabeth. We'll have a look internally if we have some place where it is collated already. But if you feel that there is something that you need to integrate with, if you go ahead and go to the UiPath Marketplace itself and search for those integrations,
I will just share the link here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marketplace. And also, Elizabeth, I think we can follow up with a link, perhaps with an email to the RSVPs for this event with a complete index of links to tech integration series events, where you will see all the webinars on tech integrations we've had so far and we will have in the future. So that's also a good list to start because you already see the demos in the webinars.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Barrett is saying, I'm basically from HR background and pretty new to Workday. I heard this like SAP, so would like to know more about it, how I choose the right area for my stream. So we will also have a SAP session. Actually, the following session will be on SAP for HANA. We also had a sub session in the first tech integration series, so you can also look into that. Into Workday specifically as a program, not necessarily. Into Workday integration, yes, we can look some more. So Bharat, I think just isolated to Workday as a software, you can find the information perhaps on the web, on their website, and on the integration for sure. Maybe we'll have some news. We have Manish asking whether we have any event for Hyperion. As far as I know, so far in the series, no, but we will write that down, Manish, so don't worry. It's noted. And please, if any of you have other suggestions from what they would like to see in a tech integration series or any other suggestions, just please write them down here because we are keeping a close eye on this feedback. Any other questions for Anubhav? I see he still have some slides to go, Anubhav. So if you
right. So in that case, I'll still wait for any kind of questions that you may have. Apart from that, I wanted to leave you with all these HR automation heat maps, and heat maps are something that will help you in identifying your specific areas or specific processes that you can automate within your organization, within your enterprise. So we have these slides handy so that it helps you in understanding what are like really good areas to focus on when you're exploring use cases to automate, and it is kind of like distributed so that you can talk to the right teams as well. So we have these divided into hire to manage, manage to engage, and engage to retire phases. And you will see, for example, hire to manage will have your onboarding employees that we saw today. There will be your managing organization and management data. According to this, creating HR strategy and processes, these kind of things. So this is giving you a quite a bit an overview of what these processes or what these streams are all about. And in the next slide, you will see a heat map based on your, give me a second, I'll just go full screen. So in this particular heat map, you will be able to recognize what are the things that have high automation potential and what have medium automation potential and what have low automation potential. Like we say, go for the low hanging fruits. So you can start with your green boxes. You can, let's say, onboarding new hires is a low hanging fruit, creating and managing reports is a low hanging fruit, and then file copy of employee document in e-file, that is a low hanging fruit. All these kind of things you can start with, and then you can go higher up on these particular front so that you can automate this one by one. Similarly, we have from the manage to engage phase, we have all these things that has been listed for you. You can actually go ahead and explore on these fronts as well, and same goes for engage to retire, right? So specifically talking about the HR and everything, you have so many potential within the organization itself that your ROI will be with you in no time. And that's pretty much it that I wanted to share, Christina.
Okay, so we are good. Marek is asking if those heat maps are available publicly.
It's
you
not,
will
but
have the heat maps in the recording
exactly.
and the presentation, Marek. So you will be able to download them tomorrow.
Since you joined the session, you are in benefit. You will have access to these.
Yeah.
So that's another reason for joining the sessions.
Yeah, you want the swag voucher, you get the heat maps. Everything is okay. So you will all be able to see this content tomorrow, both recording and the deck also available for download on the event link. Just keep that event link that I shared above, and then keep close to the rest of the events in the EMEA APAC chapter to see the upcoming tech integration series events. Thank you everyone for joining. If there are any more questions, this would be a great time to ask them. And if you have any more suggestions, please give us feedback also on these sessions, and any more suggestions for tech integration series, just drop us a line at community@uipath.com. I will receive directly these emails and I will connect with Tech Alliance. Okay. Yes, we have past events on Salesforce and perhaps also future, and G Suite. G Suite we actually have in other events in the community. So if you check upcoming events in our community, you will also find events on G Suite. So I hope all of you already joined our platform at community.uipath.com. If not, this is high time for you to do it. All the resources you want are there in the community. You will find everything you need there and all the support needed. And if you don't find it, you can just drop us a line anytime and we will help you. Angie is saying she would be interested in an event regarding Cornerstone. Not on the list so far, but I will take this suggestion and note it down. So we have 3 suggestions up to now: Hyperion, Snow, and Cornerstone. This is very good. We'd love to hear suggestions from you. Okay. Anyone else with a suggestion or a question for Anubhav? We hope this was helpful. And I'm sure the rest of the series will prove equally as helpful, both for developers and for the ones who come from the industry sector. So yeah, thank you, Bharat, for joining too. Thanks everyone for joining. This was a great session. Anubhav did a great job on presenting. And remember that all the content will be up tomorrow, so no worries. Just keep the event link close, and you'll find tomorrow the content. You can share it to other peers who weren't able to make the session, and you also have the deck. I think we can close it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Thank you for your time, and I hope you found the session really useful. Thank you, Christina, for hosting such a wonderful event for us.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone. Thanks,
Thank you.
Metin. Bye.